In 1879, this statue of Captain James Cook was unveiled in Sydney's Hyde Park. It was considered such an important occasion that the New South Wales government declared it a public holiday, and 60,000 people turned up to watch the unveiling. Now, this statue has become an object of hatred and vandalism. It has been graffitied and attacked to the point that in 2020, during the Black Lives Matter protest, it even had to have a ring of police put around it to protect it. In the last few years, Captain Cook has gone from being heralded as a great explorer to vilified as a racist coloniser who represented British imperialism and genocide. This view has absolutely no basis in fact. Cook wasn't a coloniser. He wasn't even an advocate of colonisation, raising concerns about the impact of European expansion on indigenous populations. During his second voyage, he wrote,
"We introduce among them wants and perhaps diseases which they never before knew, and which serve only to disturb that happy tranquillity they and their forefathers had enjoyed. If anyone denies the truth of this assertion, let him tell me what the natives of the whole extent of America have gained by the commerce they have had with Europeans."
Cook played a vital role in Anglo-French rivalry which had dominated Europe for centuries. This culminated in a competition to find land in the Pacific. And according to Margaret Cameron Ash in her book Beating France to Botany Bay, it was this rivalry that ultimately led to the establishment of the penal colony in 1788. Despite his very humble beginnings, Cook was born in Yorkshire in 1728 to a Scottish farmhand. He rose up in the ranks and became a cartographer, explorer, navigator, and captain in the British Navy. It was on the HMS Endeavour, this flat-bottomed boat from Whitby, that Captain James Cook departed Plymouth in 1768 on the first of his 3 voyages of discovery. On board were 94 people and 18 months of supplies. Also on board was naturalist and explorer Sir Joseph Banks, who paid around $1 million to come on the voyage. The purpose of this particular expedition was to establish an observatory in Tahiti to record the transit of Venus as the planet passed between the Earth and the Sun on the 3rd of June 1769. Now, the interesting thing is that Captain Cook didn't actually receive written instructions to visit Australia while he was here, but he did anyway, and what he discovered on his way home in 1770 changed the course of history. While he was in Botany Bay, Cook made 2 discoveries of great strategic importance which he knew he had to keep secret. The first was that Tasmania was an island. Offshore islands present a security threat to the mainland if occupied by enemy forces during an invasion. The second was the discovery of Sydney Harbour, and what a harbour it was. Cook and his men literally climbed an ancient track from where they saw arguably the best deep water harbour in the world. It was not only easy to defend, but it also had a huge amount of space for manoeuvring. It was the prize of prizes, and it had to be kept secret from the French. Captain Cook deliberately left Sydney Harbour out of his charts and journals, but as soon as he got back to London, he went straight to the Admiralty and reported his discovery. At the same time, Sir Joseph Banks suggested that it would be a perfect place for a colony. The Admiralty did nothing for 15 years. That is, until it caught wind that Frenchman La Pérouse was sailing dangerously close to the east coast of Australia and might discover the ultimate prize, which was of course Sydney Harbour. The English government panicked and it scrambled to put together the first fleet. It chose Captain Arthur Phillip to lead the convoy from Portsmouth to Botany Bay. Remarkably, Captain Phillip didn't lose one ship on the way, but the English almost lost Australia. They beat the French by just 1 week. The colonisation of Australia had nothing to do with the need to find somewhere to put the convicts. The primary purpose was to beat the French to Botany Bay. This was the reason why the government decided to establish a colony on the opposite side of the world. Captain Cook had been dead for 9 years when the first fleet landed. He was neither a coloniser, nor was he an author of genocide. He was a brilliant, self-made man of the Enlightenment who was driven by ideas of rationalism, empiricism, and progress. His mapping of the Pacific Ocean paved the way for the British colony in Australia. There should be more statues of Captain Cook, not less.